Building champions in Raid Shadow Legends is not easy. I'm one of those players that has reached level 90 and I've been playing every day since the game has launched. With all those battles fought, I have a decent understanding on how to build certain champions, and with my resource management, efficiency approach, and budget builds in mind, I want to share what my champions looked like after all this time in 2021. But before I get to that, here's a quick reminder on how you can support this channel for full-time content creation. I do play other gacha games, for example, Summoner's Glory, the only game that I know where you can actually help other players summon to get better drops. You can enter the promo code BGE during character creation to get free in-game loot. Or this other game that I can afford to play every day, and this one really feels like a mobile game because you have instant battles. You can enter the promo code Bionic before level 15 to get free in-game loot. All download links will be in the description and comment section. And today's champion is going to be ARCHMAGE Helmet. Yes, I know I already made 2 videos on this guy so far this year, but I finally have a final form ARCHMAGE Helmet. I've been able to test everything that I want with this guy and it works. So I want to cover him yet again one last time so that you guys have all the updated stats. Let's first go over his kit real quick. We have a turn meter fill in the A1 if this is critical up to 20%. Here we have a single target hit which becomes an AoE hit if the first attack is critical, and then you place an AoE stun, which is huge. This is really good, and then you can rank this up to 75%. On the A3 we have buff for increased speed, increased crit rate, increased crit damage. This is fantastic for Seer, and this guy is immune to turn meter decreasing effects. And finally he has a speed aura for the arena of 17%, but that's not really what we use this guy for. Let me quickly also talk about his multipliers. 4.8 times the attack on the A1, we have 6 times the attack on the A2 for the single target hit, and then the AoE hit is 3.5 times, but we really don't use this guy for damage, at least not how I use him. And finally, just a quick reminder that this will be on my BGE's guide spreadsheet where you guys have a full breakdown of all the speeds of all my champions and what I use them for, but we'll come back to this at the end. So for his showcase, let's quickly start with the dungeons number 1, because this is a place I've been using him more. I used to only really use him for faction wars, obviously in Doom Tower, which I'll get to after, but now for the level 24 or 25 dungeons, this guy is actually really solid. Of course, I'm using him with Seer. That is one big part of the equation, but overall he can still do a lot of great things. For instance, here where we do not reset the skills on the second wave, where we instead are going to use his AoE stun for this to work. And as you'll see with the gear, we even have a greater benefit towards his capability to applying crowd control. I think that's what's really great about this guy, is that he's sort of like 2 roles into one. You have a lot of buffs and you have a lot of crowd control. As you can see right here, it is pretty useful, especially for a team like this. For the boss fight, it's not really about ARCHMAGE Helmet here. The buffs again are really good, the stuns again are really good, but this is mainly, Frozen Banshee's job here to try and get this boss down, because as you can imagine, as you do these big karma burns with Seer, we're gonna die, right? We're gonna end up dying a little bit, so we have Rector Drath here to try and revive us and keep us in the game. So I'm gonna fast forward here a little bit, because this does end up being a relatively long run, but not to a point where like I wouldn't keep using this team, right? So right now it's relatively stable. You see right there, we die of Frozen Banshee being strong affinity. I just did a build on Frozen Banshee for speed runs, Dragon 24. Well, then I suppose it could apply to this here as well. Okay, so this is how I've been using Frozen Banshee recently, and there we are, done in 3 minutes and 11 seconds. The next dungeon I've been using ARCHMAGE Helmet recently is the Dragon 24. I already presented this build, but I just want to do a live run here for you guys to tell you again how great this guy is because of that right there, right? That AoE stun on the second wave is huge, although we do reset here with a Renegade, so we don't really end up taking any damage, but still, if you didn't have a champion to reset, this would be pretty clutch. And then here, of course, we're also using his buffs to nuke harder with a Seer, and then we have once again our Frozen Banshee, which is going to finish off the boss. Okay, so for that part, ARCHMAGE Helmet again is really solid for any of the PvE content, and I've been using him across the board now. So the next thing we're going to check is the Doom Tower, because I thought at first this guy was not going to be able for me to complete the entire hard Doom Tower with my usual team. So he replaced in there and other places, and here as well. Actually, my Mausoleum Mage, that used to be my go-to champion for the extra buffs or Seer, but now this is the guy to do it with. He is better because, again, combining those two roles into one, which is basically the buffs, but also the crowd control. All right, so for those two reasons, he is absolutely amazing. The second you get this guy, I strongly suggest you build him, and you will use him in a lot of different places. So here we're pretty much done. As you can see, my champions are not dying fast enough for me to have a really fast run, but that's all right. At this point, I'm just leaving the gear on them, and I'm not going to try and take apart my champions to like make this a tiny little bit faster. My fastest time was 1 minute 11 seconds, 1 minute 30 seconds. For the time being is good enough for me. Then we have the hard Doom Tower, right? So this guy comes from the normal Doom Tower and then eventually get to the hard Doom Tower. So again, this guy in here is absolutely clutch because of this right here. In this team or in this comp that I've been using, I don't reset with a Renegade. I've been using this here to auto pretty much all the floors on the hard Doom Tower, except maybe the last 20 or so, because the champions start like being really complicated to deal with, like multiple torments and things of the sort. But I chose a floor here, I think this is the one 69 or something, that has at least some CFs in there to kind of show to you that like he can still do a great job at applying that crowd control. Now in here is not the only one to apply crowd control. I do also have a stun set Torment because you need that extra little bit of crowd control, especially if you're going to try and do this on full auto. Of course, we also have Seer here yet again, so I get that Seer is really important for all of this, but ARCHMAGE is a good piece of the puzzle anyway, right? So you do need this guy. So anyway, we're going to fast forward here because this is 2 minutes or so, a little bit more. Let's fast forward to the third wave, and then you'll see basically we do get the stuns. The same thing here right there, more stuns. So as he's cycling back around, guys, he is adding a tremendous amount of crowd control, and it is perfect. Especially if you don't have a champion like Torment, then you probably need another guy like this one right here. But if you do manage to have those two types of champions on the team, then you are good to go. So here we go, finished in about what, 2 minutes and 24 seconds, and this is also my best time. And finally, one last place to showcase our guy here today. Again, I don't really use him in the arena. Maybe I could try to come up with a better build for arena that uses this guy, but to be honest, I would probably have to optimize his gear to be a little bit different for that. I think he's a PvE expert, and that is where I'm going to keep using him. All right, so Faction Wars is obviously a place where you're going to want to use any endgame champion you have anyway, so obviously I did put him in there. I do have Septimus in here, so obviously that is pretty easy because of simply that, but I'm pretty sure if I would not have Septimus, this guy would also be even more important, basically, right? Because of that crowd control. The buffs here are maybe not as important because we're not using a Seer, but it's certainly helping. It is really helping. So we're not going to watch again the entire thing here. Let's just fast forward to the end. All of this is on full auto. This is stage 21. That is what you want to be doing for more clan versus clan points, but also slightly more materials apparently, even though you have the same drop chance for the runes. So again, that's not really why I'm just farming stage 21. It's just for overall the greater benefit, right? So once you have a team that can do this on full auto, then good to go. So this guy is in there, and this is over in what, 2 minutes and something, and I believe I have a faster time of 1 minute and 43 seconds with this exact team. Now the gear and the stats and the masteries, let's go over. This guy, yes, is in a stun set. Before I start doing this though, I just want to point something out, okay? Before I get called for cheating and showing a guide on how to do this. I was just casually upgrading my gear. I thought I would finish this amulet here for you guys, right? You see there's missing a fourth stat there. It's at 15, right? But let me go here and point something out to Plarium, and maybe they can use this as an example. Sorry, not in here, but in the chat. Let's find myself. Oh, somebody's talking to me. What's up, dude? But here's the amulet, the exact amulet, all right? I ranked it up to 16 already, and then it gave me an error, right? You see attack 21 here? So then I tried again, and here it is again. Now it got defense on it, right? So it's random rolls, which is great, but I just want to say I'm not hacking, okay? I'm sorry, and this is not a guide on how to do this. I was just casually upgrading my stuff. Okay, so you know, don't shoot me for this one, guys. But if somebody wants to expose this cheat of some kind, feel free to do it. I've done my share for the other ones. I think I'm done on that front. Anyway, the gear stun set, we have just speed, crit rate, and accuracy at this point, right? The attack percent I don't care all that much for. More HP obviously is important as well. You do also need a lot of resistance for the auto of the hard Doom Tower. All right, so anything you can get, any pieces you can get that has those stats on it. This is a nice shield overall. We got crit rate gloves, obviously, right? If you want to reach that 100%, with again some, you know, speed, accuracy. The chest piece though is really nice. Accuracy with high resistance, speed, crit rate, HP percent, beautiful. And then for the boots here, kind of the same concept. 6-star speed boots, lots of accuracy, crit damage, I don't care. HP, defense, sure, that's always good on a champion like this. Ring, we have defense with a lot of HP. Perfect defense percent, I like that. HP with crit damage, but more importantly resistance, accuracy here as well, and then something that I guess I'll get eventually when the game decides to work. So for the time being, I couldn't care less what, you know, what the last point is there. And finally, for the banner, resistance, attack percent, don't care. HP, speed, and HP percent, good enough. So total stats on this guy, we have 238 speed, 101% crit rate, 312 resistance. Don't forget, I have a seer in the lead for the hard Doom Tower, therefore I get an extra 40 resistance, putting me at over 350, which is pretty much the sweet spot. The skills, they're all done. You certainly want to max out this guy. And then for the masteries, because I'm using a stun set and because his skill tops out at 75%, right, I think I went with Fearsome Presence, just more stuns because, you know, why not? And then for the rest here, Evil Eye obviously is pretty good. Cycle of Magic, okay, I guess I was just trying to get to Lasting Gifts. And then Wisdom of Battle, that's always nice. We have Blast Proof, whatever, right? Just try and get this guy to survive, do his job, apply some crowd control, and you are set. Now let's go check out the guides, which as you can see now has the updated values for this guy, and in fact all the other champions I've covered so far. Okay, so again, if you want to have, sorry, a complete picture of my account, here it is. This is allowing me to do everything in the game so far, except obviously, you know, playing in Platinum Arena and all that stuff, which I don't do, right? I literally just don't care about it. So if there is a hyperlink on it, it means that there is a build video. You can click on it and you can go watch it. So anyway, for a guy here, ARCHMAGE helmet, 238 speed, I do say to try and be above 220 or so. To be honest, as long as you're above your seer for most of the content that I've been doing, it should be all right. Crit rate gloves, obviously, because you got to reach that 100%. Then we have accuracy chest piece, speed boots, defense ring, HP amulet. Again, this could be whatever, just go for the stats. Banner, resistance, or I guess the opposite of your chest piece, so this can be switched around. And then we have a stun set and accuracy, and here's where it gets interesting. ARCHMAGE was first only built for Doom Tower, obviously faction wars, but now he's also really important for my dungeon runs. Okay, so for Ice Golem 24 and for Dragon 24, I didn't really try him for Fire Knight. Maybe it could work to some extent, but I don't think so. But anyway, there you have it, guys, the breakdown of my new final form ARCHMAGE helmet. Hopefully this will help you guys as well. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.